All right, folks, there we go. Looks like we're live now. I was waiting for the little live sign to pop up so I could make sure we were going. Looks like we're there. Hey, we've got volume tonight. We're just going to double check that and we'll go into that here in a minute. But hey, folks, I hope you've had a fantastic week this week. You know, it's been kind of a mixture of a week for me, but it's been really busy. And in the end, it's been definitely a positive week, I think. But it's had its mixtures. It's had its pluses and minuses. Well, folks, if you are coming to me live, I'd love it if you give me a hashtag live or a hashtag replay if you're coming to me a little later. Let me know where you're coming from. I always like to see in the chat where people are actually coming from. And drop any questions in the chat that you've got, and we'll be happy to answer those for you. We love to look those over during the live if you're here, and we can talk about them while you're here. So anyway, folks, I hope you're having a great night. Also, if you are seeing us over on YouTube, we would love it if you would do a quick like and subscribe over there for us. And if you're having any problems finding us over there, just search for us under at Smiling Stew. You'll find us just about everywhere as at Smiling Stew or under Smiling Stew. And folks, if you're seeing us anywhere but the Home Business Freedom group, we would love to have you come join us in the group. It's just search groups under Facebook, search groups for Home Business Freedom, or just go to Facebook or to the link I set up for you here for smilingstew.com/group. And you'll find us right away there. So anyway, welcome to Home Business Freedom. I am Smiling Stu Sutherland. I am a freedom crusader. I give people the knowledge and tools to build freedom and by disconnecting their time from their money and building and growing residual income from home. Apparently, I can't speak this evening. So it has been a long week. So anyway, thought we would just spend the evening talking about some wins and some failures, or what do we also call them? We call them temporary setbacks, because really you only fail if you quit. If you keep figuring out a new way to go at it and you keep plugging at it, then you don't fail. You just have a temporary setback and you learn from that. And so really the key is to fail faster so you can learn quicker to get where your ultimate destination is going to be. So anyway, folks, well, let's start by, it has been just a busy week. We've had wins, we've had losses. Let's see, what should we start with? Well, let's start with the wins. All right, let's start with the good stuff. Then we'll talk about the failures, because they're kind of intertwined, as they usually are. And sometimes failures turn into wins. So anyway, first, I've been helping a person get started online and working their way through our company. And it's actually not one of my people. It's somebody else signed up in the business and then just basically wasn't there to help them. And well, that'll never happen if you come in with me. So anyway, I'm helping him out, and I'm just really, really happy at the steady growth that he's showing. And, I've seen him in this week's time. He's gotten in there. He's followed the directions. He's done things the way he's supposed to, and he's already accomplished his first funnel. He's already accomplished his first email sequence. He's already working on his second funnel, and he seems to be picking up and understanding everything as we go. So really, really impressive, and great shout out to Melvin. You're doing a great job. Keep working at it. So that's a win for me. A win for me is when somebody that I'm working with is having accomplishment and is moving forward and is getting insight in it. That to me is a win. Is he there yet? No, he's still got work to go. He's just getting started, but he's moving forward. He's staying determined. He's staying focused. And for me, that's a win. So again, congratulations on that. So another win for me. Well, I was guest on the Digital Office at Home podcast. We'll take you over and just do a quick show you on that one here. Oh, wrong one. We want to go to present and share screen. And there we go. Okay, so thought we had it there. There we go. There we are. So there we are on the Digital Office at Home podcast. And that would be Marion LaSalle and Gail Kidding that we were with there. And or Kidding. And anyway, just had a great time hanging out. And, that actually leads to a couple of my failures this week. Okay, well, let's talk about some of the failures because, this podcast was a great win. We had a blast, but let's talk about some of the failures that led up to it because in the end, we turned some failures into wins. So, one of my failures today, well, the night before I did this, well, a couple of things that lead up to this, little bit of backstory. I just replaced my computers, bought brand new computers. A lot of you know that. And I took it to Geek Squad, had it switched over and everything. Well, in the process, I hooked up a lot of things through a USB hub, and it's a new setup, and everything's kind of juggled in different. Well, number one, night before the podcast, my microphone went bad, or at least the hookup that went in there went bad. So we went to Best Buy's and ended up buying a new microphone. Well, it's a microphone I'm not used to, so it had a little bit of a learning curve to it. So had to use that right away the next day and figured out how to get that up and running and everything. And then just before we started on the podcast, my camera just starts glitching all over the place. Couldn't figure out what was doing it. Couldn't figure out how to stop it. The ladies were being very generous about it and saying, no, we can always reschedule if we have to and do that sort of thing. And, I'm determined to make things happen. So I wanted to work through it. In the end, it turned out that I didn't figure out what the problem was at that time. In the end, we just disconnected my camera that mounts on top. And we moved forward with the camera that's built into my computer, which fortunately it's a newer computer. Turns out it's pretty good. And it worked fine for the whole situation. We ended up with a wonderful podcast. But that's a situation where we had to take a failure or something that was going wrong, and we had to overcome it and turn it into a win. And boy, did we ever. And so anyway, it turns out after I worked on the camera the next day, it really was just the USB hub that was causing the problems. I plugged the camera in straight in on a separate USB, and we're using it right now. So obviously it wasn't the camera. It had more to do with the hub. But at that time, things were going wrong and we had to overcome them and move forward. So that's turning a failure into a win. Okay, so we're going to experience some failures. We're going to experience some temporary setbacks. But as long as I could have quit, I could have rescheduled. Well, then it would have been a failure. Okay. And now if we'd have rescheduled and pulled it off, it would have been a win again at that point in time, but it would have been a temporary setback for sure. So anyway, we had that problem. Then after that, still having some problems with the microphone, I turned around and had a live that evening to tell everybody about this great podcast I was on. And lo and behold, find out a day later, I had no volume, no sound. I did an entire live talking about it with no audio at all. So a failure, but we turned that around. We made it a win. We fixed the problem with the microphone. In fact, the gentleman I just told you about that I was helping move forward, I sent him a little training video that I made with no audio. So I had to turn around and remade that the next day to coach him with it and send it to him. And, we turned it into a win. We got the thing done. But again, we had a temporary failure, a temporary setback. So I believe we've got all these things set up now and handled. So that's taken care of. So let's talk about a couple other wins we had. Well, for starters, I got this lovely thing from Facebook telling me that my 90-day insights were great and new followers and all that. So that's a win from Facebook there. So that was a nice thing. Got my new logos. I'm starting to work that into everything. Now, this is my new website that I'm working on. I've almost got it complete. I've got to do a little optimizing for the phone. It's not coming in quite right on the phone yet. So I've got to get that optimized a little bit, but this is almost up and running. So even though I've had some temporary setbacks and failures as I've been building this website, it's really coming together well. So we're turning that failure into a win or a success. So again, I could have given up on trying to do the website. I could have said it was hard. Could have said it wasn't looking right. I've had several setbacks as I've been doing that where things haven't been working out right, and I've had to redo some things and do other things. So yeah, there's a learning curve. There's some temporary setbacks, but we're turning them into wins. So I guess the moral behind all this story for you folks is that you have the ability to turn all these things into wins. You don't have to accept failures or temporary setbacks. There's lots of wins out there for you, and everything can be turned into that. Now, folks, we're getting ready for 2024. If you'd like to figure out whether or not what I'm doing online might be right for you, then I'd love to have a chat with you. I'm looking for 10 people. I'm going to be running a coaching session after the first of the year. So I'm looking for 10 people that, and the people I'm looking for are people that I would like to work with. I'm looking for high vibration people with like minds that really want to try and go for their freedom, that really want to be persistent in making this work. I'm not looking for somebody who just wants to give it a try. Okay. If I was here telling you that I was just giving this a try, would you be interested in following me? No. So I'm not interested in somebody who just wants it to give it a try. I'm looking for somebody who wants to commit to fixing their future, like this gentleman I'm coaching, this gentleman who's really giving it all of his efforts to make this happen. Someone who shows that he's got the desire to make it happen. Somebody who has the persistence to make it happen. So he or she, that doesn't matter to me. I enjoy working with the ladies and the guys. So let's all get in there and just chase our freedom. So if you're interested in learning some more about that, or just talking over whether or not it might be right for you, and folks, if it's not right for you, if you're not that person that's right to have that determination and go for it, I'm going to tell you, and we're not going to move forward. So, let's talk about it. Go ahead and grab a spot on my schedule. It's under Smiling Stew, Smiling Stew or smilingstew.com/schedule. There it is right there. Very easy to remember. But go in there, you just pick a day that's open. And like, for instance, if I wanted something on the 19th, I'd click that. These are all the available times. You'd pick that, fill out a few things for me, and we'll get either on a phone call or a Zoom call, preferably Zoom if you don't mind. That way it's easier for me to show you things on screen and so forth. But if not, we'll just get on a phone call and talk about it and move forward from there. But, that would be a way to start moving forward for yourself and figure out where something like this is right for you, and go from there. So folks, anyway, that's kind of my week of wins and failures, or temporary setbacks, as we like to refer to them. We all have them, folks. I mean, I come on here and I'm bubbly every night because I'm Smiling Stu and I'm just a happy-go-lucky kind of guy. So I always present an image of being really, moving forward and putting together. And that's just my persona. But I have setbacks too. I just told you about several of them that I've had this week. Things that were, pretty monumental failures when you do a lot of live, or do a full live without any audio. But, it happens. It's live. Stuff like that happens. We move forward. We turn that failure into a win, and we learn to check our microphone every time before we start. It's as simple as that, folks. So anyway, that's what I've got for you this weekend, or this Friday, this Freedom Friday. Hope you're all had a great week. Hope you all are thinking in terms of getting yourself going for 2024. You only got a few weeks left, folks. Get that plan together. Don't wait for 2024 to catch you unprepared. All right, folks. Hey, smile at everyone you see tomorrow or over the weekend. It'll definitely improve their day. It will improve yours too. Have a fantastic evening, folks. Smiling Stu out. Have a great weekend now. Take care.